Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing an eyeshadow declutter. I've been putting this off for a while, okay? I was supposed to film this over a month ago, but I just keep putting it off because eyeshadow is so hard to get rid of. Like, I enjoy it, it's not cheap, and I feel like I'll miss it if I get rid of it. But this year I'm really trying to minimize my makeup collection, focus on things that I thoroughly enjoy and will get a lot of use out of. I'm also trying to do a project pan where I'm actually using things up, you know? So that's the mentality I'm going into this declutter with, hoping to get rid of at least 10 palettes. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I did lie. We'll get started after this quick shout out to my small business, theopencrypt.com, where we have spooky and sweet things. Yeah, and our Easter collection just dropped. I know it's a little soon, but I thought you'd have those to enjoy them before Easter comes. So yeah, okay, now let's get into it. Sorry I had to do it. All right, guys, so hopefully the lighting will fix itself soon. But you know, this is what we have for now. This is my main palette drawer. I have another drawer with some basically old staples and stuff in it too, but this is like the newer, or I've been reaching for a lot of stuff. Firstly, on top here we have the new Chucky palette from Glamlite. Obviously, I'm keeping this. I just got it, I just reviewed it, and I love it, so I'm keeping her. I don't know where else to start next. I guess let's start off with this back section because they're all big, you know, they're kind of in the way. First up, Banana Fetish from Jeffree Star. I'm keeping it because she's beautiful, and it's my, like, this is my yellow palette now. I love yellows. I'm also thinking about keeping the Star Wedding palette. Really pretty good staple shades in here. Still don't know why there's a bright pink in here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I don't know. The shade that would be my favorite would be the White Shimmer, but like, it's so crumbly in this palette. It makes me sad, but I still enjoy the rest of the quality thoroughly. Next up, we have Rock Candy from Colourpop. I waited so long to get this because I was like, do I need this? I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile for now. Back here, I got this on Ulta's sale day. It's the Jacqueline Cosmetics Luxe Legacy palette. To be honest, I was like hesitant on buying it when it first came out because I was like, am I gonna love this? Same thing with the Rock Candy one, honestly. And I don't love it. And since I kept the Jeffree Star Wedding, I'm gonna declutter this one. Like, I think I used it twice. It wasn't as good as I was expecting. Like, everyone using it looked so pretty that I think I fell for it. The Harry Potter palette. Now, this collection I got to review, and I gifted some of it as a Christmas gift to someone who likes Harry Potter. And then I realized how problematic it was. I wasn't really aware of everything. So I didn't review it. And I never used it because it was supposed to be for a review. And then I realized that was going to get me in trouble. So I didn't do it. Yeah, since I didn't use it, clearly I'm not going to review it. And I'm going to get rid of it. Now, here's the thing, though. I didn't know about all the controversy because I just watched the movies when I was growing up and stuff. Apparently, the controversy is around the writer. But then does that mean you're getting in trouble on the internet if you go to Universal because they have a Harry Potter land thing? Because I want to go to Universal one day and get that butterbeer because I've never had that. But I don't know if people get in trouble for that too. I don't know anymore. Next up, Ace Beauté Violet Sage. We got this in a subscription box. And I was like, oh my god, it's so pretty. I can't wait to use it. I didn't use it. So I'm going to declutter it because clearly I didn't use it. Harmony palette from Alter Ego. I was so excited to see Alter Ego come back with this palette, and I thought it was going to be so pretty. I thought I was going to get a lot of use out of it. I think I used it once or twice. Mostly used that matte and one of these two shimmers, but it's not my favorite in the world, so I think I will part ways with it because I still love some of their other palettes more. After this collection came out, I decided I was not going to buy all the Colourpop stuff anymore. I have so many things from old Colourpop collections that, like, everything was going to be a great review. That it became a problem. So after this collection came out and I realized I wasn't going to review it, I'm not doing all the Colourpop stuff anymore. But this is the East High School Musical palette. I thought people were going to be like, oh my god, can you review this? Nostalgia, all the vibes. Because, like, Disney Channel and stuff growing up, and this was a huge movie. I'm going to declutter it because it wasn't as hyped as I thought it was going to be. Like, I feel like every Colourpop release used to be, like, exciting. And everyone talk about it, and no one does that anymore. So, I've kind of settled down on the Colourpop purchases. Next up, we have the Natasha Denona Zendo palette we got in a subscription box. I don't love it, so I'm going to part ways with it. It's a fancy brand, right? Ooh, it reflects the light. And the color scheme is really pretty, but like, it's not all it's hyped up to be. Next up, Nomad actually sent this to me, so thank you, Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Verona Amor Immorte palette. Intense color palette. I have not got a full chance to try this in all of its glory yet. I've used it 3 times. 2 times on this cool side, 1 time on the red side. So far, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, I feel like it's not my favorite thing in the world, but also the looks I came up with look kind of cute and subtle, so I'm gonna hold on to this for now. Next up, we have the Sigma and Nook palette. On Nook palette, you guys saw my recent underrated palettes or underrated makeup video. This was the palette that I chose for that video, so I'm keeping her because she's lovely. A lot of staple shades in that. Next up, another Nomad palette, but when you guys sent this to me, it's the Haunted Europe palette. This is so pretty. So many beautiful, spooky shades. Keeping this one. I haven't used it that much, but every time I have reached for it, it's been really nice. Next up, we have the Sigma New Mod palette. And I love her. I love her. But I also have the little mini New Mod palette because this was a cute travel palette. And I thought, hey, the world's traveling again. Maybe I'll need a little palette thing if I ever go to a wedding or something. This will be a cute little wedding palette. And I don't need to take the full palette with me. But let's be real. I don't go places, so I don't need the mini travel palette. I just stuck my fingernail in it and broke one of the shades. So I'm going to keep the full-size palette and get rid of the mini. Next up, this came from a description box as well. This is the Trey Loose palette, the I Am palette from, Trey Loose Beauty. I'm getting rid of it. I don't really care about it, you know? Next up, Alice in Wonderland by Sigma. I love this palette. I'm keeping it. This, I mean, honestly, I know I have the Banana Fetish palette from Jeffree. These 2 yellow shades, though, are beautiful. I thought this was the drawer I wasn't getting rid of a lot. This is a drawer it feels like everything's hard to get rid of. Jeffree Star's Weirdo palette. I'm keeping this for the simple fact that I've made a huge dent in this black shade because I use it for my eyebrows all the time. And for that reason, I'm keeping this palette because it's a good eyebrow palette. Is that a good reason to keep something? I'm not really sure, but here we are, regardless. Next up, I have the Sigma Diana Saldana palette. This, I was suckered in by the beautiful promo photos, and it really is that beautiful in real life. And I'm so sorry the video lighting and this is so weird. It's beautiful. It really is stunning. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile though, because I do feel like it's beautiful, and that's what suckered me in to get it in the first place. But it's so heavy on the shimmers. Like, all of these are shimmers other than that first shade, and then we have this row and these 2 of mattes. It's a little shimmer heavy, so it's going in the maybe pile. Next up, I have some other Sigma minis. I get a discount Sigma stuff, so I'm kind of a sucker for it. This one is the little holiday mini. Very cute. The Ambiance, which is gold and beautiful. This is the shade that I love from the Ambiance palette. So pretty. And then we have Cor de Rosa. Oh, that's right. This one was crushed when I got it, and I haven't repaired it yet. Okay. So I'm going to keep Cor de Rosa and the Holiday Mini and get rid of Ambiance. Because whereas I do love that gold shade, I have the Jeffree Star Wedding palette and the Jeffree Star Banana Fetish palette that have that kind of similar shade. So I'm going to put these back. And then I do have some little Kaleidos palettes here. These are from the Smoky Nostalgia collection. One is more of a beigey browns, and the other one is more black and gray. And I'm keeping both of these because they're freaking fantastic formulations. And then I have a little Element Beauty Duo from an Ipsy that I'm going to get rid of because I don't need it. Next up, we have the Gemini palette from Melts. I'm keeping it. The Spooked palettes from Gourmand Girls and Doodles by Bunny. To be honest, I haven't used this that much because I don't know what to do with it. Like, my eyes automatically want to do with this shade or the green shade. But I am going to keep it because it's spooky and beautiful. And then we have Rust by Melt, which is in my project pan, so I'm clearly going to keep this one. And I'm not parting ways with Kaleidos Flower Punk because look at these greens and like a little bit of grungy greens. I just feel like I'm keeping so much. Like, I do have a pile, or a good pile going of things I'm decluttering, but I feel like I'm not doing that well. Okay, the lighting has been really bad. Just the time of day I decided to film this video, and because I've been putting it off so much, I didn't want to put it off again. So you're just gonna see my face for this last section of palettes, I guess. That's gonna work. So next up we have the Sigma Fiery palette. And I'm gonna declutter it because I keep holding on to it thinking, oh, look at these beautiful orange shades. I have Rust by Melt if I really want the orange shades. After that, I do have two Night of Creation palettes from Kaleidos, and I'm keeping both of them. First one, a shade just fell out, but it didn't break. Okay, I need to glue that back in. So we have a purple palette, and then we have another purple palette, but this one's dustier. I'm keeping both. Well, I'll actually declutter this one. Oh, I'm blinding myself. I'll declutter this one and I'll keep the brighter purple. Okay, next up we have Shadow Kiss from Alter Ego. I've used this thing to death, so I'm keeping her because I use her all the time. Next up, I was gifted two palettes from Glamlite, the Scooby-Doo collection. We have the Creeps and Crawls, which is this purpley blue one. And then we have Scooby-Doo Rut-Row Raggy, which is this one with the greens. I'm going to declutter both of these because whereas I really enjoyed using them and I think it's fun, I have other greens. They're so cute though. Next up, a subscription box palette, the unique Dominique Cosmetics Unconditional palette. I'm going to declutter, I just don't need it. And then two other Glamlite palettes. We have Dirty Martini, which is the green one from their Martini collection. Love this palette. And Chocolate Martini. Look at those shades. They're so stapley and pretty. I'm keeping both of these. And then rounding out this drawer so you don't have to look at my face the entire time, we do have 3 Colourpop minis. Because again, I told you I wasn't like a Colourpop kick for a long time. Thinking like everything was going to be a video. Because it was affordable. And I was like, ooh, you know. I don't know what my thought process was other than the fact that I was like, oh, well, it's affordable and I can review it. You don't have to review everything, Bridget. And you don't even review that much makeup anymore. Nickel and Dime, Peaches and Dream, and Chestnuts About You. I am going to declutter the peach one. And I guess I'm going to declutter the chestnuts one too. This one's so beautiful, but I have those shades. And then I'm going to, oh no. I'm decluttered Nickel and Dime too because we just saw, I think it's this one? No. I have these exact same shades in this quad. I don't need both quads, so I'll get rid of the Colourpop one. Okay, moving on to this drawer now. This drawer is a bit of a mess, to be honest. But yeah, so Jeffree Star Cremated's tossed on top here because it's part of my project pan, so I'm gonna keep it. And I know I kept Jeffree Star Weirdo because it's been my eyebrows, but because I've been using this for project pan, I've been using this shade as my eyebrows. And it's actually the eyeshadow I chose to use today, so keeping her. After that, this stuff is just a bunch of press-on nails and stuff, so we're just ignoring this mess. I'll figure it out eventually. My whole life can't get together in one day, you know? So let's start off with the Aussie palette that I bought, and I reviewed it, and the video did well. Like, I'm always happy to see a review be worth it. But honestly, after I did that video, I forgot about it. Like, I love this grungy green, zombie stomp, and it's a cool color scheme. This sold out pretty quickly, but I don't need it. I forgot it, and I haven't used it since that video. I'll use it once, so I don't need it. Okay, next up. Oh, Yes Please from Colourpop. I've really done a number on this, and I'm gonna keep it. If I ever dye my hair orange again, that was my eyebrow shade. Like, I made a pretty good dent in that pan. Next up, I have this little custom-made palette from Glamshop. I put these together myself, and I really like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Hip.X MCR. Because this is a 3 Cheers Sweet Revenge palette, I'm keeping it, and only for that reason. Fuck you, Hip Dot, you know? Hate them. Ooh, Goddess from Alter Ego. My favorite Alter Ego palettes. I'm gonna keep this. Hopefully I can narrow down this drawer enough where I can put this in my main palette drawer because I love it. Like, I had to put it over here. Like, this is not my main palette drawer. The other one was. I had to put it over here so it stopped reaching for it so much. I love it. And I'm not saying that because I have an affiliate code. I just love the greeny golds. Like, they're so pretty. This palette drawer I knew was gonna be hard because I've had these for longer. And they're staples and they're things that I've held on to through many declutters. But it's gonna be hard. Margarita from Glamlite. Not very used. I think I've used it once. No, apparently I haven't. It looks like I've used it not even once. But I don't have any palettes with these bright shades if I wanted them, so I'm keeping it for that reason. Why am I justifying things? I don't know. Flutterby by Colourpop. If we haven't noticed, I like a gray purple, like a purple gray like this. And that's the same reason I bought that Stone Cold Fox palette. That is in my maybe pile currently. But I'm keeping it because I love it. I love it. I don't care. I did really well. We've gotten rid of a lot. Tartelette and Bloom, I'm keeping her. It still smells so good. Their eyeshadows smell delicious. Look at the shade. This one's been through it. If we can even tell, I have made a dent in that shade. I already know this part of the video is me quick because I love these things. Y'all can judge me all you want. Okay. Oh, Club Nebula. Kaleidos. Love the formula. So I'm keeping it. I do wish some of the colors were a little bit different, but I love this palette. Kaleidos has a freaking fantastic formula. They'll sucker you in every time. And then you'll order a little bit more than you want to for the free shipping. Okay. Diary palette. Declutter. Clearly I haven't used it. This palette survived the last declutter because I was like, ooh, I want to use glitters more. Ooh, I want to do a fun review of all these fun trippy colors. Guess who didn't do that video? Me. And if it did survive that last declutter, which I think was 5 months ago, and I said I was going to keep it to do that video, and then I didn't do that video, am I ever going to do that video? I doubt it, but look at this shade of glitter. It's so pretty. I want to get into glitters more, but I don't need this palette. I can buy loose glitters and buy only the shades that I want. So I'm going to part ways with it. Next up, we have All Hallows Eve from Hocus Pocus 2. This orange shade really did it. They really popped off with that shade. It looks beautiful. But I don't need it, technically, so I'll go declutter it. And then next on the list is the Star Wars palette. This was fun. I did a look with a warm eye look and a cool eye look. And apparently at some point I stabbed my fingernail in the shadow. But it's forgettable. Honestly, it's forgettable, so I will part ways with it. And stop buying so much Colourpop. Next up is an Ofra palette, Caribbean Glitz. This shade next to this shade is like, oh, so beautiful. But I don't need her, so I will declutter her. If it made it to this drawer and I didn't use it, like, why did I purchase that? Like, I technically was gifted the Glamlite one, the margarita one, so I'm keeping that even though I haven't used it, but. Oh, the little Naked palette. This is my favorite out of the 3 they released. It is the Foxy, Naked Foxy. Look how cute. Look how cute for everyday wear. But I forgot I had her, so she's gonna go. But look at this packaging. Look how cute. Okay, next up, Beetlejuice and Melt Cosmetics. You guys know how I feel about Beetlejuice, so I'm keeping this one. Also, this was a gift from a subscriber, so thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, next up, oh, Life's a Drag Facelift palette. I was so hyped for this to come out. And I love this mug shade. I decluttered the original one because I was like, oh, I still have the mug shade and the trade shade. In this one, I might as well keep the newer version of the palette. I haven't been using it, but oh my god, these 2 shades right here are so beautiful. I'm gonna keep it. I can't, I love it. Those 2 shades, like I probably have those in other palettes, right? But they're so pretty. Okay, next up is Give Me Glow Vintage Rose. You guys know how I feel about Give Me Glow's highlighters. I recently told you how much I love their highlighters. Their eyeshadows are like supreme. I'm keeping it just so I have this shimmer and this shimmer because gorgeous formula. Like, they're so pretty. If anything has like a beautiful shimmer in it, I'm more likely to keep it. And just like their Christmas morning palette. Yes. Yes. Okay, let's quickly finish up this drawer now. Vita palette from Melt. Keeping. Love. I will declutter Smoke Sessions because I know I have these shades in other palettes that I kept. Bury Me with the Edward Scissorhands and Sugar Pill palette because it says Edward Scissorhands on it. I'm gonna keep it. Finishing up the video now with 4 Jeffree Star palettes. Alien I'm keeping. I used it the other day and I was like, oh god, why did he discontinue the best palette he's ever made? Jawbreaker, keep, because a lot of these colors like this bright blue and stuff, I just don't have anywhere else. Staple colors. Oh, I guess I do have it in Blue Blood. Last 2 palettes, I am going to keep Blue Blood, which I guess I do have technically a bright blue if I have Blue Blood, because I was obsessed with this palette when it first came out. And it's like my only blue eyeshadow now. And I'm gonna keep Conspiracy, gift me from Shane, I thought was sweet. And some of the colors are interesting and fun, plus that ranch shade in there, so pretty. So let's summarize. Okay guys, so all together today I decluttered 27 eyeshadow palettes. I put them in this little bin because it's the easiest way to store them. And I'm pretty proud of myself. I think I did a really good job. Some things like the Jacqueline palette and the Aussie palette, I'm like, ooh, that's a cool color scheme. Ooh, look, a grungy green, because both of those have a grungy green in it. Clearly I don't reach for as much as I thought I would. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you later. Have a good and safe day wherever you are and make better financial decisions than me. Okay, bye. Or you know what? Just buy what makes you happy. Who cares?